Coach Chris Petersen of our UVA joins us here. Gosh, your team storms out of the gates. 3 touchdowns on your first 4 plays. How do you feel about the way you performed tonight?
Well, we had talked about it after last week, coming out strong. Got down 14-0 last week against Boyer Valley, so it was one of our points of emphasis, and kids really responded well. We made some changes from a personnel standpoint, position-wise, and the kids came out and played really good football, with the exception of just maybe 1 or 2 plays. All night we were consistent and played really well.
Yeah, putting Will Regaler at quarterback, you talked about how that was a good move for him and the team. And not only that, what does that allow some of the other guys to be able to do with their skill sets?
Yeah, we had Coop back there before, and we switched him and Will, and it gives us a, Coop goes about 6'2", so it gives us a nice target on the outside, or if we run him at tight end. And Coop's done a great job of blocking the perimeter too. He's one of our better perimeter blockers. So putting him there and letting Will kind of sit back there and read and watch his guys up front and what they do. I think we're really probably tapping into those 2 guys' skill sets a little bit more by doing that. And then on the defensive side, we moved Cooper to outside linebacker, which is a better position for him too, just because he's just more aggressive. He's an aggressive player and he wants to be aggressive, so we switched him from defensive back to outside linebacker, and that's worked well for him as well.
Gosh, we were impressed with Damonehlers. I mean, I don't know that there's you can't be a quicker and fleeter 240-pound back around.
Yeah, he runs sprints with our running backs and wide receivers and keeps right up with them in practice. So he's pretty agile for his size, and he's not afraid of contact. He put some nice hits on him defensively, and then on the offensive side, it almost looked like maybe they kind of wanted to run away from him, which I don't blame him. He does go 240 and a solid 240, so he does a nice job and gives us another weapon in the backfield as well.
I guess Xyri, EHK, whether it was their personnel or whatever, they were kind of one-dimensional tonight. Did you kind of take advantage of that on defense?
Yeah, we didn't really know. Obviously, they had a couple guys out. That changes things for them. We didn't really know what we'd see, if it would be Tyler or Trey in the backfield. We knew that they were going to try to do things through Trey, whether it was through the air from Tyler or putting him back there. So when he was in the backfield, it didn't seem like they had quite the targets on the outside because he was gone, and they had him back there. So he gashed us a few times and did a nice job, and I thought Tyler threw the ball well at times. He just didn't have a whole lot of time. I thought we did a nice job with pressure and mixing up our looks.
Back-to-back wins, and now you've got a team next week that I would think you probably feel pretty comfortable, with the matchup there. How does that kind of set up to gain some momentum heading into the postseason?
Yeah, that's huge. And this year's so much different. That's what we've talked about with the guys. It doesn't matter what your record is as long as you're playing your best football going into Week 8. And right now, the last 2 weeks, by far and away, we're playing our best football. So West Harrison's got a lot of size. I was impressed with their guys' physicality tonight, but we're gonna have to turn it up a notch next week too, and hopefully continue momentum against them and heading into the first round of the playoffs.
I wanted to ask you about your coaching staff, because I know you got a couple of former players, pretty good players that are helping out this year. Who are some guys that are contributing, and what do they bring?
Yeah, I've got Austin Stolk, who was actually a senior the first year I was at Arweva, and Jake Danner's upstairs, and he played for me for 3 years and set some records before they were broken by the Woodbine kids this past year. Those 2 guys, it's huge having them on your staff because they understand the system already and they understand what we want to do. So their knowledge that they bring is just fantastic. And we have another young coach and Isaac Schaefer, who's our PE teacher as well. So having those young guys around, it keeps the energy levels up too. Those guys, they do a tremendous job, and they deserve all the credit as well.
And finally, got to ask you about the purple bell on the cap tribute. They had a nice ceremony here between the first and the second quarter for Rochelle Bruins, elementary principal here who passed away. That's a nice gesture from your staff there.
Yeah, obviously knew Rochelle pretty well. Graduated from Elkhorn Kimmelton, and she was a teacher there when I was in elementary and junior high and high school. So know the family really well. It's a great family. Obviously lost a great one. We wouldn't meet a nicer person. So obviously a tough night and a tough atmosphere around here, and she'll be greatly missed. But we wanted to just at least pay a little bit of tribute to her and her family.
Coach, thanks for your time. Good luck the rest of the way.
You bet. Thanks, Bennett.